Hey you guys, welcome back to the Secret Garden Homestead. It's been 2 weeks since I've posted. We have been so sick here with the flu. I don't know how everyone else is handling the tail end of winter, but we have been sick like the entire month of March. We're finally coming out of it, so I thought I'm gonna take it a little bit easy today and just do a little orchard tour slash garden tour for the month of April. Um, I haven't really been outside because I've, again, been really sick. So I'm kind of seeing things for the first time too. There is so many changes happening, so I'm so excited to show them to you. And the first thing I want to show you guys is my citrus grove. We actually just planted 2 new trees. This is about 2 weeks ago in the citrus grove. And I think that pretty much rounds out what we're going to plant in our citrus grove. We might have room for 1 more tree, but for now, this is what we have. I went here and I ended up getting another lime, and this is a bear's lime, and it's a semi-dwarf variety. So I have another lime tree because my other lime tree that is up in the wine barrel is a dwarf, and it doesn't give me very many limes. So I wanted to get another lime tree. And then back here, I just got this one and we just planted it. And this is a Valencia orange. For those of you that don't know, Valencia oranges are primarily used for like a juicing orange. They don't get that like bitter taste like when you juice it. It stays sweet for longer than say like a navel orange. So I wanted to get a juicing orange. And so that's why I got that tree. I love watching the flowers turn into like little lemons. I think watching the life cycle of a fruit tree is so amazing. I actually have 2 lemons on here already. These must have flowered earlier last year. And so those lemons are actually pretty big. But I pretty much picked everything off of this lemon tree. There's nothing left. I've gone ahead and pruned it a little bit. I'm trying to get it to grow up instead of kind of bushing out. So anyway, that's our lemon tree. I have another Meyer lemon tree right here that I'm trying to get to grow a little bit taller. A Moro blood orange back there. A navel orange here. And it is loaded with buds and flowers. I mean, just everywhere you look, there's a white flower that's opening up. If you don't know or not familiar with citrus, they abort their fruit if they can't handle the amount of fruit that's on the tree. So I don't have to thin any of these citrus trees. They can flower as much as they want, and then as the fruit forms, it will turn yellow if it can't handle the amount of fruit on the tree. So it's not really indicative based on how many flowers there are, how much fruit you're gonna get until it really starts forming and stays green on the tree. Over here, I have a pink lemonade grapefruit. And again, this is the most I've ever seen this tree flower before. I have been taking such good care of this tree. I've been fertilizing it, I've been pruning it. And actually these 2 grapefruits are ready to come off, so I'm gonna pick them right now. Okay, so here are the grapefruits that I picked, and you can see it has a tinge of like this pink orange tangerine color right here. So I have 2 of them. I'm gonna weigh them. This is all that the tree gave me this year, but based on the amount of flowers on this tree now, I'm really hoping that I get some more grapefruit than just 2 grapefruits. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I have to show you guys for the citrus grove. It's looking really good, but it's kind of quieting down for the season as it's no longer citrus season, or it's the very tail end of citrus season. So I'm gonna head out to the back orchard and I want to show you guys how the trees are doing back there. But first I have to show you this entrance to our back field. Ryan went ahead and put in this gate and he painted it black and it looks so good. So now we have a gate that's going to kind of be the demarcation between our backyard, which has our citrus grove in it, and the backfield, which has our orchard. But look over here at this beautiful wisteria. We planted 4 wisteria plants in these pots, one on each corner of the pergola, and this is the only one that flowered, and it did come from a different nursery. It's the only one that came from a different location. So for whatever reason, this one is blooming, and it is glorious. I mean, just absolutely stunning. I can't wait till it starts climbing up this pergola and blooming on the pergola. It's so pretty. And then as we walk through to the back orchard, over here, I have to show you these peonies. These are our peonies beds. Here in California, it's too hot to get a bloom on peonies plants. So one way that you can kind of make your peonies bloom is to put them in a shady spot that gets very light partial sun. And so that's what these are. And then in the winter, I'm gonna have to throw some ice on them to kind of make them feel like it's colder than it actually is. But these peonies have actually started to form buds, and I'm so excited about that. It's not going to be long before we actually have some peonies that I can cut and put into a vase in the house, and that is just so exciting to me. For as young as this garden is, it is actually starting to kind of show the fruits of the labor that I put in, and I think that's so exciting and encouraging, and it makes me think the more that I do, the more beautiful this garden will become over time. If you guys have watched our channel for the last year or so, you've probably noticed that we actually had a fence put in for the whole right side of our property. This used to be open to the neighbor, and now it's a wooden fence. Ryan is working to complete it by putting up this this like privacy lattice on the very top. And then if you take a look really closely, Ryan is kind of working on this idea of having a grape arbor that is going to start right here and go all the way down to that black walnut tree right there. We were kind of testing out how long we wanted the grape arbor to be. I think we're gonna go longer than that, maybe double, so to like right there. And then we'll have grapes all along this fence, which is gonna be so exciting. Okay, and so here is the side of the orchard, and I've gotta show you what is going on here. So over here, I have my Pinkerton avocado, and my last video, I showed you guys that I whitewashed it. We've actually had rain since then, and I have to say that this product, which is I think called Ivy Organics, it held up so well. This whitewash is barely coming off. It's staying on really, really well, and I really do think it's helping this avocado not get that sunburn that I was worried about that we got with our previous trees. So that's our Pinkerton avocado. Over here I have our surprise avocado. And again, the whitewash is holding up super well. These trees are looking much happier than the trees that we had before. And then over here I have my Haas avocado. I'm still holding on to hope that this Huerta will come back. Although the more I look at it, the more it just looks totally fried and dead to me. So we might have to replant this one, but I'm gonna see this spring if it does come back. Another project that I'm working on probably this weekend is we have all of the irrigation lined out on the ground of the orchard, but we don't have any holes poked into the black tubing, and so we need to actually get holes and emitters put into those so that we can start running water. I don't think there's any rain in the forecast for a while, so now is the perfect time to get this up and running so that I don't have to be hand watering all the time. I don't want to lose any of the trees that we've planted, and so it's definitely time to start getting them on a watering system. Also this weekend, what I would love to do, I'm going to walk to the middle of the orchard back here. We have a weed problem right here. For those of you again that have watched our channel for a long time, you know that we did the whole Back to Eden orchard transformation back here in our back orchard, and that's held up okay, although with spring coming and all the rain that we had, there was a lot of weeds. So I'm spending hours each day weeding. And so we're gonna go get about 15 yards of mulch, and we're gonna mulch some more on the back orchard just to try and keep it so that weeds aren't popping through. I do not want this back orchard to turn into a weedy mess. We put so much effort into it. It would be a shame if it got overtaken by weeds. So we just need to put more and more mulch, and then I know that over time we will suppress the weeds and it will stay a mulched orchard, but for now we're definitely fighting the elements, trying to keep it looking a little more on the wooded side. Also, now that we've kind of finished this entrance coming into the back orchard, we need to mulch all of this area. So I'm going to be laying down some paper cardboard on the ground and then mulching, and so hopefully that will help this orchard just look a little more put together, a little less messy. You can see you can see that I weeded this whole area right here, but I still have more to do back there, and there's just little weeds popping all over the place, and there's some more over here. I haven't really got to this side. So that's the project for this weekend, and I'm pretty excited about getting that done, and just having a pretty orchard to look at, something that's easy to walk in, that I'm not going to be fumbling over weeds. Okay, coming back over to the trees, my Tilton apricot is still really young, and I don't think it had but 2 blossoms on it, so I'm not really expecting to get any apricots from that. Also, this is my Italian prune plum. It really didn't blossom out either. I was expecting quite the show from this tree, and it just didn't. I don't know whether it blossomed when it was too cold or what, but it definitely doesn't appear to have as many plums on it as it did last year. Last year was an absolute bumper crop. But the really exciting thing for me are these 2 Santa Rosa plum trees. They did blossom out. They are relatively tiny, but I have to show you some of the plums that are forming on this tree. When I lived in the suburban house that we came from prior to living in this house, there is a Santa Rosa plum tree that would grow right in front of this large bay window, and I could watch the fruit form over the course of the season. So from blossom all the way to harvest, I could see all the fruit forming, and it was so cool to watch that evolution. So I love coming out to the orchard and looking and finding the little itty bitty plums, and then watching them grow. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so they're really tiny. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, yeah, like right here, if you can see that, right there. Oop, there they are. That's a plum. It's a little bit hard to see. Anyway, there are lots of plums on here. I'm gonna wait for them to get a little bit bigger, and then I'm gonna thin them. This is the second tree. This is the second year that this tree has been in the ground. So I think it can probably sustain like 10 plums. Any more than that, I'm gonna have to pick off, because I just don't want any of the branches to break. I don't want the plums to be little. I want them to be on the bigger side. And we have 2 trees, so I'm expecting to get about 20 plums in total off of these 2 little trees right here. And something I am thinking about is how to protect from the rodents and pests. We have a lot of squirrels and birds, so I don't know whether I'm going to be putting organza bags over things or netting the trees. I'll have to figure that out, but for now I'm just kind of watching the fruit form and seeing what the trees are doing. Again, over here I have another type of plum. This is a Japanese plum, and it is actually loaded with some plums. Let's see if I can find plums here. So like right in there, I don't know if you can see, right there is a plum, and it's forming. So I just think that's so cool. It does not take that long for that tiny little fruit to become like a big plum. So that's just awesome. I love it. Back over here I have an Anna apple, which barely fruited out, and I honestly think I over pruned this tree, so I'm just gonna give it a year to just grow and see what happens. But I don't think it will have any apples on it this year. It really didn't flower at all. I've got 2 pear trees right here. One is currently flowering right now, so we'll see what happens here. And again, I think I over pruned these trees, so I'm gonna give these trees a year or 2 without pruning just to see what happens. And then I can start shaping from there. Again, here's another very, very young pear tree. This is a Bartlett pear, and it is looking like it's gonna flower, which is very cool. So we'll see. I have no idea if these trees are going to sustain any fruit. And then as far as my apple trees go, I think I have like 7 or 8 apple trees. For the most part, they're dormant. The only one that's truly a fall apple is my Anna apple. And I guess I have this Gala apple, but it doesn't look to be coming out of dormancy yet. So I don't know what's up with that. Over here, I have my green stalks, and they are full of strawberry plants. So I filled each cell up with strawberry plants. Some of these I had last year. Other of these I had gotten from Johnny's. I think the varieties that I have are Sparkle, which is a June bearing, and Albion, which is an ever bearing. So you can see I'm starting to get little tiny strawberries coming in, but it'll probably be a good 2 weeks before I start actually getting some strawberries from the green stalks. Oh yeah, you can see like down here I've got more strawberries coming in. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for strawberries. It's like the first fruit on the homestead that starts ripening up for us. And if I hadn't planted bare root strawberries and I had maybe had them in the ground last year, I probably would already have strawberries by now. But as it stands, I planted those about a month ago, and so that's kind of where they're at. I am just so excited for some strawberries and just start harvesting some stuff from our orchard, because everything's so young. I feel like there's no harvesting happening. But another tree that I am going to be able to harvest probably June, July. I have 6 peach trees. 2 of them are very young Eva's Pride peach trees, but then I have some older mid-pride peach trees and Alberta peach trees, and they actually have peaches on them. The other day I did come out here, so here's some blossoms on there. I did come out here and I did thin the best that I could. So I have thinned these trees. This one's the Alberta, so this is our latest variety. I think it even goes into August. But over here, this is my mid-pride, and the peaches on this tree are already so big. Like, look at this peach. And this is going to be ready come July-ish. So I probably have like 30 peaches on this tree, and another 30 on this tree, 30 on that tree over there, which is in Alberta, and then 30 on this one. So they are quite young trees, although I did buy them a little bit bigger. So I'm just gonna watch them, and I can always thin them out more if I'm feeling like the tree can't handle it. And then my little Eva's Pride peach, this is one of the Eva's Pride peaches right here, and then the other one is right here. But I've gone ahead and pulled off all the blossoms on those trees because I don't think that they'll be able to sustain peaches. They're just way too young. And then kind of rounding out our orchard, I have cherries and nectarines. So back here I have a Lapin's cherry, which is just starting to leaf out, but I'm not seeing any blossoms, which is okay because it's a pretty young tree. And then over here I also have a Lapin's cherry, and I think this too is just starting to wake up. I mean, I think this literally happened like today. We have such a beautiful day today. It's really hard to show, but it is waking up. So that's our Lapin's cherry. And then over here I have my Bing cherry. And it's not quite, oh, actually, yeah, it is waking up. I don't know if you can see that. It's so hard to show that it's awake. Let's see. There we go. It's just waking up now. So I'm excited. Maybe we'll get some cherries. And then I have itty bitty little Snow Queen nectarine right here and a Fantasia nectarine right there. And that is what we have going on. Everything is waking up. Everything is feeling like spring. I look out in the orchard and it's just green and pretty and it feels alive, and I'm so excited. Oh, I forgot. There's one more thing I want to show you guys. And that is what I feel like I cannot pull from the orchard. When we went and did the Back to Eden method on the back orchard, we used some compost that I knew had pumpkin seeds in it, and we ended up spreading it all over. And I have pumpkins growing in the orchard, which I think is so cool, because right now I don't have any raised beds. For a homestead, we have no vegetables that we're growing. Really, we've been focusing on perennial plants and trees. And so this is really exciting for me to have pumpkins just volunteering on the ground. I don't know what variety they are. They could be, I know last year when I tried to plant pumpkins, I planted, oh, there's more over here. I planted butternut squash. I planted like big jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and I also planted like sugar pie pumpkins. So truly I have no idea what these pumpkins are going to be, but I think that's kind of like the fun of it. So I'm just going to let nature take its course with these pumpkins. I do not plan on pulling the pumpkins out, even though I do plan on pulling the rest of the weeds out. And we'll just see what happens. And I'm going to water them, and maybe we'll get some pumpkins this year, which would be really exciting. Anyway, that is the tour that I had for the month of April. I'm really excited. It finally feels like we've planted a lot of things, and now we're just waiting for time to go by so that the trees can get a little more mature and we can get more harvest out of them. Last night, I actually put together a spreadsheet of all the trees that we have, and I want to start documenting how many pounds we're getting from each tree for a harvest from each tree, because as I mentioned before, I really want to have a very small CSA, but I think it's really important that I need to understand how much we're getting from each tree. And I just know that each year that goes by, we should be getting more and more fruit, and more trees should be coming online. You know, we have trees from varying stages between like sticks and much more mature trees. So it's just really exciting that every year we're going to be maybe getting something new or different that comes online. I do plan on doing a May tour, although I don't think anything will be ready to harvest in May. But it'll be really fun to see the fruit development in the month of May, especially if you're growing similar trees to me. So thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you guys on the next video.